absolute privilege today for Turf Business TV. We're here at Royal St George's, home of the rescheduled Open, now 2021, 149th, and I'm joined by Paul Larsen, who's responsible for putting everything together here from a turf point of view. Paul, we've spoken to you before in the build-up to an Open that didn't happen. How are things going for the 149th now in 2021?
Yeah, very good. Things are ticking along quite nicely. We've had a bit of rain the last week. Semi-rough's growing, which is what I've been trying to nurse through from the drought in 2018 when we were sort of struggling with grasses. But as you look around, it's beginning to look quite a picture actually, quite pleased.
So when we were down here last time, preparation for an Open that didn't happen,
Yeah.
you had a bit of a stop-start kind of, was it happening, wasn't it happening last year? Talk us through that, would you?
Yeah, I'm trying to remember when you were here now. That was before the announcement, wasn't it? So going back into history with everything that happened, and we went down to 5 people, we're all on furlough and everything like this. We didn't know whether the Open was going to be going ahead, cancelled or whatever it was. At that moment in time, we were just trying to keep the course alive. We had that heat wave, so it was just loads of hand watering and everything. To be fair, the RNA made the announcement quite quick. It was going to be this year, so it was basically just holding things together. Do you know what? Just concentrating on the virus, believe it or not. The Open was at the back of my mind. Not like we didn't care about the Open, but it was, are the guys going to be all right? Is everyone going to be healthy? What are we going to do? How is it going to work out? All the rest of it. But the most important thing was we all stayed healthy and tried to maintain the golf course with 5 people and keep it going. So look at it now, it's like a totally different scenario. We're still unsure as to exactly what's going to happen with spectators and all the rest of it. We do know we're going to have the Open. As you can see, the stands are all up and everything. Until Boris makes his announcement in a few weeks, we've just got so many different scenarios, but at least we've got the chance to have the Open.
We'll talk about planning for different scenarios further on, but 2018 you had a real problem with a drought, and I guess, have you had any kind of issues with weather this year that's given you unexpected stuff?
Yeah, that drought. So the drought really wiped us out in 2018. So in 2017 we did the amateur, and I thought the course looked magnificent. The fescues, fairways were fantastic, semi-rough was fantastic, and it's the old thing, can't, sort of relax, something's going to happen. Sure enough, we had the drought in 2018. We lost half the fescue content on the fairways. The semi-rough were devastated, really. So come the end of 2018, we could see what we had left. We didn't get the rain we wanted until winter. So then since 2018, it's just been a case of overseeding, hand dressing, sort of rushing for time. I've been wanting time to go slow and like the clock to go backwards like the old cartoons. So I suppose you could say the extra year that we've had to get everything through has really helped. So it has in that respect. So it was a bit of a bonus to give us another year to finesse everything through. But when you go back through what happened with the drought, mentally it was tough because we just wanted to refine the golf course leading up to the Open. Since then, the lads have just been absolutely amazing. Their work ethic and everything they've done to get it like this. I don't think it's 100% perfect, but from where we were, it's pretty good. And really, this is going to be our showcase. I think people saw what the course looked like in 2018. They would have seen some of the pictures, so even when I look at it myself and I see this, it's quite a pleasing moment, like quite proud really. Proud of myself, proud of the team and everyone that's helped to get it where we've got it, yeah.
We're talking about the team. The team expands quite dramatically, and I think we were talking earlier and you said, depending on what Boris says and on the scenario you got in terms of the number of people that might even be attending, you've got to have different scenarios, and kind of you probably won't know what you're going to do till just a couple of weeks out, really.
Yeah, I think so. It's the unknown at the moment, so we're planning for different eventualities, but basically no one's going to stay on site from the staff, so all the guys are going to have to go home. I think we've got 15 or 16 local support staff from all the local golf courses who are going to come and help, but they will come in, we'll do the job in the morning, then they go home or go back to the golf clubs because they're probably going to have to work there. We've got another 10, a second support team who, if the restrictions are lifted and all the rest of it, they found accommodation so they could come back and help us in the evenings. Normally you'd have 48, 50 people for an open. I think Paul Rush, they had 54. So you can do everything. There's so much work to do. You can do so much finesse. So one of the scenarios is we have to do everything with 35 people, and most of them will go home straight after the setup first thing in the morning.
So we're a few weeks out now. We're really in the final kind of furlong, if you like, in terms of racing terminology.
Yeah.
If something was going to go wrong now, what would be the worst thing that could happen?
Oh God almighty, there's so many things that could go wrong. I suppose it's leaks on machinery, stuff like that. To be fair, we hand cut greens every day. We try and take out the probability of anything like that happening. That's your worst nightmare, is a leak. We had a leak, 2011 we had a leak on one of the fairway mowers, hydraulic oil up and down one of the fairways. We learned from that. It was a brand new machine, hadn't really been tested, so now everything that come in will be pretty new, but it's been at least 100 hours on each machine so that we know it's reliable and it's pretty good. So in that respect, that's what could go wrong. The weather, well, do you know what, we've had a bit of rain, I've managed to get a bit of growth, rough's coming through, everyone seems to want thick rough these days. I prefer a little bit more finer, so that you can see your ball when you're in the rough and it's not so clumpy, but due to the pandemic, we never got to cut and collect for the last 2 years because that's the thing that's probably hindered us, is we would have cut and baled the rough at some point. We wouldn't have left it 2 or 3 years, but we've had to leave it because we didn't want to cut it down a year before in case you have a drought and things like that. So it's a little bit thicker than I want, but I think that's what people quite like now. They want to see DeChambeau duffing a wedge out of it or something, I don't know. So it is what it is. But yeah, the worst thing is leaks, I suppose. The weather is whatever it is. If we have a hot summer now, we dry it out and it's fast and fiery and kind of proper links golf.
If we're looking at what makes a successful tournament for you, or championship, what would that be?
If the players come here and just say they've enjoyed it and they love the golf course, and the spectators come and say, wow, it looks great and all the rest of it, then that's a success. And if you have a good winner and they enjoy it as well.
We're looking around us at the moment, there's work going on everywhere, there's stands going up, volunteers and support staff that come in and help. A lot of those are drawn from local clubs, aren't they? Is there a good feeling, or is there a little bit of local rivalry?
No, do you know what? I'm calling it the East Kent Open because I've got guys from all the local golf courses. Now, when I was younger, I used to play in the Kent leagues and stuff, and we had an East Kent league, so I know all the local golf courses, and it's really, I'm quite proud that they're all coming to help. There's 1 or 2 from each course. I play at Sing Valley Golf Course, which I think is one of the best in Kent. People might argue, but we've got 2 lads coming from there. They've only got a team of 5. How's that for commitment? Sending 2 of their guys to come and help us for the Open. What an experience for them to come here. We've got guys from Woolman, Kingsdown coming, St Augustine's, all the little clubs that you might not think of. It's a great challenge and excitement for them as well.
A tough year or so, yeah.
Yeah.
Golf's had a tough time, sport in general's had a tough time, the world's had a tough time, let's be frank. What have you learned professionally through that time?
The secret has been we've been lucky that we've had something to focus our mind on. So I think as long as you've got, it really is luck. We've been allowed to come to work. The second lockdown we had, the club were quite good, let us have everyone in. So while people have been at home, some people have been on furlough for a year or whatever it is, we've been able to focus our minds on this golf course. Even better, we've had an Open to focus on, so it's given us even more incentive to get it right. So it's made us more resilient and just appreciate life a bit better. But it's just made us focus our minds on work, and how lucky we are that we're working here and we get to do this every day.
I think you've got a reputation of being a bit of a maverick. Do you think that's deserved?
I don't. I am me, that's it. I do. Yeah, I hear that quite a lot now. I dress, it's how I dress. The hair, I've had many different haircuts. I think I've got to do that, it's just me, it's just what I do. I like being a little bit different or whatever. but I've got friends who are far more eccentric than I am, so I'm just middle of the road compared to them.
Does that extend itself into the way you look after your course?
Yeah, what a question. Yeah, I've got goals, and I will go after them as much as I can. I'm very traditionalist in what I want to do, but I'll use modern methods if I can. I think it's good for me and the team to try and want to get better and do things, push the boundaries a little bit maybe to get where we want to get. When I first come here, we were unfavourable in our SSSI status. We didn't really work with Natural England well and things like that, but last year we got awarded our SSSI status as favourable, and that's little things we did. We did a lot of burning on the course. It can look a bit unnerving to some people what we're doing, but it's controlled, it's in the right manner. But when you look around, you see all this and the golden look of the grasses, all the sweet vernal that's coming through, the red fescue. It's fantastic. You have to be of a certain mind to go for that, and we went for it, and I'm lucky the guys were behind me, because it's, yeah, maybe we needed to be a bit of a maverick to push it as far as we could. There's loads of other people doing out there, and you know, we run the Links Club, and I'm quite lucky. I've got Reece, Ian, Craig and Richard, and do you know what, they push their boundaries in certain ways, and we all mix together and we try new ideas, things like that. And what I might think, oh, that's a bit of a crazy idea, they've done it and say, no, that works well. So you've got to try new things, but you can't be scared of failure. Some things sometimes don't work out.
When we look at the industry and making the industry better, you do take a full part in our summit, which we thank you for. One issue is attracting, people into the industry, full stop, and we've covered that a lot. Aside from that, are there any other kind of areas that you think perhaps the industry could learn from how we've reacted to the pandemic, or other things that we need to shape up on? And that can be golf or the turf industry in general.
Yeah, well, the golf, we've talked about, we always talk about getting kids into golf and greenkeeping is quite hard work, isn't it? Got to work every weekend, all the bank holidays, up at 6 o'clock, bed at 10, your mates are just going out. It's quite a lifestyle choice, but you've met some of my guys, and we've got some youngsters here, and it's a little bit tough for them at first to get used to it, but they choose to do it, and it's a great job and it's very rewarding if that's the right environment for you. I think sometimes it can be quite negative, and you think the guys are doing the best that they can, and if you hear golfers are moaning or something, it can be a bit soul destroying for them. Luckily here, it's all been quite good lately, and they've enjoyed what they've done. But I can see if you're not well paid at places, and you hear people get paid more working in a supermarket than you do on a golf course, and you think, that's not right, is it?
And where do you see yourself in 5 years' time then?
Crikey, I don't know where I see myself in 2 months' time. I don't really look to the future too much. If I'm still sat on the bench here talking to you in 5 years' time, I've still got hair, we've done all right. Do you know what, even no matter where I am, you put your heart and soul into any golf course. That's a good thing about Greenkeepers, is you do it. I was in a course at Zoetermeer called Wester Park now. I put everything into that golf course. I loved it just as much as I love this golf course. So wherever I am, I'll be doing my best. That's all I know.
All the very best for, touching wood. This Open goes as planned, and we've got a full house here.
Yeah, that'd be great, wouldn't it?
Great to see you again,
and
Paul.
You. Cheers. Thank you.